And joining us in the studio this morning, Aaron Gabbard.
Hi.
Good morning, Aaron.
How's Aaron this morning?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
We're fine.
Good.
And you're doing fine as frog hair,
Oh,
right?
yeah. I'm doing great.
Split 3 ways?
4 ways.
4 ways? And then you're fine.
That's real
That
fine.
I like him even numbers.
There you go. That's mighty fine. I got you. Now, Aaron, you live in Bath County, born and raised in Bath County?
Yep. All my life.
All your life.
So you've been in Kentucky all your life,
Well,
then?
You are a true Kentuckian.
Well, I lived in Moorhead for a little while, too. Just long enough to go to college.
And that's just across the
Yeah,
line.
it's just across.
Or it's just across the county line.
Yeah.
You didn't go very far. Anyway.
No, I don't go very far usually.
I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But now, Bath County, that's the home of Mr. Reed Fields.
Yeah.
You know,
Clark
singer.
Kissick.
Yeah, Clark Kissick. And
Brandon
who else we
Martin.
know? Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Brandon,
Brandon
Martin.
Martin,
Who else
yeah.
we know from Bath County?
Those are the 3 big ones.
Yeah.
Comes
that
out
we
right
know
to
from-
mind.
Yeah, right to mind from Bath County. So, born and raised, when did you start music? I mean, when did you start playing? When did you start playing music and decide this is what you wanted to do? What age were you?
I'd say I was about 14 or 15, and I always had a bunch of friends that played music. My brother, he was a drummer in high school, marching drums and stuff like that, and he would bring all his friends out. Nobody had a place to play, so it's like, let's go over to my little brother's house, and I would love it because they would bring their drums, their guitars, their basses, and as soon as they'd walk out that door, they'd leave their instruments, so I'd be sitting there tinkering. I first started playing guitar with drumsticks. Like, I'd get on their guitars and turn amps up, and I tried to do a little slide
Do
thing.
some Eddie Van Halen
if
stuff.
they seen me
Yeah.
playing their guitars,
They'd been
hitting
upset
them-
with you.
oh,
They'd
yeah.
been upset with you for playing them that way. Yeah.
Yeah, but I always like to just make noise. So I originally started off just as soon as my brother would leave, I'd get on his drum set, and he had double bass pedal. And I would just sit there and jam to whatever had double bass in it. Usually it's like Metallica or something like that. And,
Yeah.
I never could play Metallica on guitar, but I could always play on drums. But I always grew up with the Purple album from Stone Temple Pilots. So everything on that, like I could literally sit down and start from beginning to end on that and play
And play
on the
everything
drums.
just by listening to it.
Yeah, just on the drums though. Like I'm still learning to play some of those songs, but when I've listened to that album so much, it's just like, it comes to me whenever I sit down. Somebody's like, "Can you play this song?" I'm like, "Nope." You give me the chords, and yeah. But on the drums, I will sit for hours and play that album. Still this day.
And drums are a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, especially that Stone Temple Pilots Purple album, because if you think when Kurt Loder used to do that MTV News thing, that was actually, they would use a sound clip from Stone Temple Pilots at MTV News, So that always rang out to me, and I was like, oh, this is the same album that Kurt Loder always does his stuff to. So, but yeah, they would leave their music equipment there, and I would just always.
And you'd just go in and play around with it while they were gone.
Yeah, they would always go to the doo-wop shop and always bring the coolest gear too. Like I remember they brought a 4-track recorder over, and I was always so tech savvy with stuff. So they brought a 4-track over, and I ended up turning into like a 16-track. I'd run that through a VCR, through another VCR, through my sound system, and I would record 4 tracks here onto a cassette here, take that cassette out of my stereo, run it back through, run 4 more tracks, and
So the recording part
Man,
has also
that's
been something that's
old school
interested
process.
you.
Yeah,
I mean,
before I could even play music, I was making sounds up. I know I listened to a lot of Tool with my friends. I was never a big Tool fan, but I was a fan of weird sounds and how they made those weird sounds.
I like Tool.
So even before I could even record, I would use that 4-track and use, like anything I could find. Spoons, drums, sticks, clacking, and I really liked taking a piano and just doing single note things, but then, you do single note things enough that you could layer it and layer it and layer it and layer it till it sounds like an orchestra stuff. So I used to do that all the time, and while I was doing that, I would record stuff on a VCR, and record that VCR onto another VCR so I could have the audio running through it. And I used to take still frame videos and stuff with the little camera all the time. And I would make music videos and stuff like that. Just and it was
So you got into the production side of music a whole lot growing up.
Yeah, this was before I was even a musician. Like it was just something about being creative. And I mean, I have no art skills at all. I couldn't draw a stick figure.
No, but it was something that was in you. The music,
right?
The music kind of led you into that area.
It's something about the creative side. If I'm around creative people, I can turn their creativity into something magical. Like, you know, when it came to doing these little claymations and stuff, I couldn't make them, but I had friends that could draw and stuff, and you know, they could make these little dragons and really cool like figures with claymation.
And then you could put it together.
I could put it together and know that I could take a frame by frame. And then I knew that back in the day, you know, you could take 2 or 3 VCRs and layer them on it. You can record the video into one, the audio in the other. So, you know, I pretty much had my own little makeshift studio even then.
That's
and
really
I don't
neat,
know
man.
until I'm actually telling this story about, you know, I did some weird stuff that I thought, you know, never amounted to anything until I get into school, and all that stuff just kind of felt easy for me.
Oh, yeah. So that's what you went to Morehead State for, was the...
I went for multimedia and production, and I went about 6 years. I had a lot of problems with algebra, so I had to take introductory algebra. So usually people go in and they take one class of algebra. I was taking like a double semester, so they would break it in half. But I was so tech savvy, I could use a TA89 and build Mario Brothers on it. But you know, so going into multimedia production. I went about 2 years after I'd graduated and realized that I never got my last credit. For some reason, I was 1 credit hour shy. So I think it was about 2 years ago. Well, no, about a year ago, actually. I went back and I was like, hey, what can I do for this last credit? So I did a work study through Morehead to get that last credit. And I was like, I can't believe it. I've been out of school since 2008, and then I'm just now getting my degree.
And you're just now getting a degree.
Well, that's good. You got it though,
But
man.
you did go back and get the degree. So
it was a struggle.
It wasn't time wasted though.
Yeah, it was a struggle for me because not only was I going to Morehead State and learning the videography side of it and editing video, but I was also going to Lexington Institute for Recording Arts on the days that I didn't have school at Morehead, and I didn't drive at the time, so I just happened to have a great stepdad that had got with my mother. And he worked at Link Belt, and Link Belt is like right down the road.
Yeah, so he took you back and forth.
So I would be outside every day at 6 o'clock in the morning waiting for them to open the doors.
Yeah.
You know, just sitting outside waiting, just couldn't wait to get in there. And then I realized when I got in there, the first thing that I'm learning to do is reel-to-reel stuff. And I'm like, this is just not what I expected. I was used to taking cheap computers and doing everything digital, and here I was sitting with these reel-to-reel tapes and
big difference. What
doing punch bay. I felt like an AT&T operator. Here I was. I wanted effects on a song, and I had to patch them in a patch bay and run them through a bus. And then whenever I wanted my effect to come on, I'd have to mute and unmute. And
that's cool to learn that process of it
and
too.
See,
though.
That's what radio used to be. I mean, radio was reel to reel for years and years and years, and a lot of folks don't realize how difficult that was to operate. But I mean,
it definitely was.
It is. It's a job to operate,
especially doing commercials. Commercials, you have to queue up your song. You have to be right on your script, and you have to record all that at the same time and hope your level's right, or you start all over again.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a chore back in the day. You know, everything, the digital era has really changed so much in so many different ways.
Changed
but
everything.
I mean, it's been a good thing. It's a good thing that it has changed things because, I mean, it is so much easier now. Technology does have glitches in it.
It does. But when it's working good, it works.
But when it works good, it does. It works. We're going to take our very first break. When we come back, Aaron Gabbard is in the studio with us, and we're going to get Aaron started for the day because I do believe the man's got some music in him.
I'm ready to hear some this morning. I know
believe
that.
He does. So we're going to take this quick break. We're coming back to Where